We believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
Good evening and welcome to season 4 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show. This is the second show of the day, the last of the week. We're closing week 4 and we're almost at halftime. You know, this season has had a great start, and we're exploring how India's general managers are evolving from operational leaders into strategic business architects shaping the future of hospitality. We're all architects in this industry. We're all storytellers. We're all operational kings, and we are all executional specialists. And more than anything else, we are mentors, we are fathers to the ones we have to nurture and develop. This season carries a powerful overarching theme, India at a hospitality inflection point, redefining excellence across every state segment. Today, I'm delighted to share that season 4 has opened with the strongest viewership in the history of the GM show. And I thank our growing nationwide hospitality community for joining us week after week. Today's episode addresses a reality every Indian urban hotel leader understands well. Upscale without overreach, delivering premium without luxury economics. Across India, upscale hotels are becoming the growth engine of hospitality, balancing guest aspiration, owner expectations, and operational discipline. Let me now welcome the moderator for this episode. He needs no introduction, Senior Hotelier Ranjan Malakar. He is the Senior Regional Director, Operations India at Hilton, a respected industry leader, deeply involved in scaling performance-driven premium hospitality across markets. Welcome to the show, Ranjan.
Thank you so much, Bhuvanesh, for the opportunity. And I think more than anything else, thank you for all that you're doing along with Diversey to give an opportunity, to give a platform to our general managers to share their insights with the wider hospitality audience. So it's an incredible thing that you're doing. And thank you for having me on the show.
We're delighted. I've had you on my mind for the longest, and I'm so happy we're able to do this together today.
The privilege is...
Let me set a context, a tone to today's episode. As India's hospitality demand deepens beyond metros, upscale hotels are redefining premium experiences without luxury cost structures. You're in the best position to talk about it, but that in a bit. This episode explores how general managers balance aspiration, efficiency, and profitability while delivering elevated guest value. Ranjan, with your permission, may I begin to bring in the stars of the show today after you, the general managers from across India. Let me begin with Supreet Roy, who's the general manager of the Sheraton Grand Pune Bund Garden Hotel. Welcome to the show, Supreet.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna, for the opportunity. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to all the panelists, and it's a great opportunity to be here again. My second time here. Always a pleasure to interact with you, and thank you for doing this for us. Really excited to be here on the show today.
For the industry, we are all doing it together for the industry.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here, Supreet. Next in is the lady belongs to Kerala, brought up in Bengal, and now anchoring a hotel in Agra. Rajani Nair, who's the general manager of the DoubleTree by Hilton in Agra. Welcome to the show, Rajani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Khanna. This is indeed a Augustus platform for me to be present, and hope to have some fun with the panelists and inspire a few people along the way.
Awesome. Next in is Shuvendu Banerjee. He's the general manager of the Hilton in New Delhi Aerocity. Welcome to the show, Shuvendu.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for bringing me here for the fourth time. It will be a great pleasure to discuss on this topic, and with the wide audience hearing all the discussions we all will have today. Thank you so much.
Just switch on your camera. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Next in is somebody I've known for a while, Sachin Maheshwari. He's the cluster general manager, ibis Mumbai Hotels, and also the general manager for the ibis Mumbai Vikhroli. Latest import into Mumbai from Goa. Welcome to the show, Sachin.
Thank you for inviting me again on the show. And Bhuvanesh, it is a pleasure to always interact with you offline and on screen as well. I think you're the lighthouse for hospitality, because this is a platform which I've not really experienced in any format anywhere else. And I think meeting my counterparts on this panel also is very exciting. So I always look forward to being here and sharing whatever I can at this capacity. So thank you.
Those are very kind words, but I won't take them seriously because I don't want them to go to head. We have a great job together to do for this industry to take it further. Thank you so much, Sachin. Happy to have you here. Next one in is Saurabh Bhatnagar. He's the general manager of the Radisson Blu in Ahmedabad. Welcome to the show, Saurabh.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna, and namaskar to everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be on this show once again. And I must congratulate you for creating such a great platform for every one of us, and especially, as you mentioned, that we want to create something which can inspire the youngsters to join the industry. So it's a great platform to be in. Thank you so much.
You know, I this morning I spoke at the Bharat Mandapam to a large audience. I told them there's no better industry for you to be, and you all don't come cheap, and your careers are huge. You are 24/7 hoteliers, right? So fantastic. Last but not the least, the newest entrant to my show, Gaurav Chandna. He's the general manager, Hyatt Ahmedabad. Welcome to the show, Gaurav. Such a pleasure to have you here. You're the baby of the show, like they say. First timer. I won't say that about Ranjan.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. It is amazing to have on the show, and I have a special affection for BW. It was the first award which I got in my career, so I have a special corner for BW. Sorry, but I have a slightly bad throat, so
Don't
but I'll
worry
do my
about the
best
throat.
to do that.
Don't worry about the throat. It happens. Don't worry at all. Go through smooth. Take it easy. Sip some garam chai.
Yes.
All right. So great. Thank you for being there. Without much ado, let me get rolling on the show with your permission, Ranjan. And let me crack the first question with you, with your permission.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, Ranjan, go for it. So tell me, one moment. Yeah, sorry. Ranjan, from an operator's perspective, across multiple markets, this is critical. Huh? It's an owner question. Are owners today clearer about what premium positioning truly requires? Or do expectations still mirror luxury benchmarks? Because owners in the hospitality industry for an expansion asset-light model are very critical.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great question, Mr. Khanna. And I think the industry in India, larger parts of the world, is divided into different types of owners. So I think you have the institutional owners, who are very aligned with brand standards, positioning, understand the brands very well, and kind of are able to differentiate between luxury, upscale. As an industry, we do like to complicate things with these little segmentations. The important thing is whether the customer actually relates to them or not, and then the non-institutional owners, which so far in India are kind of the majority of the owners. So I think India, and having worked both in India extensively and also outside of India, especially across Asia Pacific. I think there is this term that we in the industry call, obviously everybody's familiar with ROI, return on investment, but something a little particular to the Middle Eastern owners, Indian owners, and to some extent, a large part of Asia Pacific is something called ROE, return on ego. So this is where some of these owners potentially can get into, my car is bigger than yours, and my hotel is flashier than yours. And I think this becomes a little bit of a challenge for the brands to manage. Well, the brands are actually quite clear on the specs for an upscale hotel, whatever it might be, whether it's a DoubleTree by Hilton or a Courtyard or whatever the case may be. But when the owner is looking, and with the kind of pride that Indian owners have, and this is something that you don't want to sort of tone it down, because this is possibly the only hotel or one of 2 or 3 hotels that they're ever going to build. Especially the first one is always going to be having a little bit of extra love and attention from the owner. They may want to go a little over the top. I think this is where the brands, and to some extent the general managers, when they get on board during the pre-opening, play a very, very important role in not sort of toning down their enthusiasm or their creativity, but also educating them on what is actually going to get you return on investment, and what is just really going to appeal to your ego and not necessarily give you returns on your investment. So I think this definitely is a challenge. While the owners, when signing up, are quite clear about the brand, they're well traveled, they understand the difference between upscale, upper upscale, and luxury, but somehow that pride and that tendency to overspec a little always comes in. That is good. That should be harnessed. It ensures that you come up with a great product. But we've got to make sure that with multiple hotels existing in the same market, there should be differentiation between the upscale product, the upper mid-scale product, and the upper upscale product, and beyond that. So I think clarity both from the operator side and the owner side is essential. I won't say that we're there yet, but it's getting better, and it's something that's good for the industry.
I couldn't have asked for a better response, but let me make a small intervention here. The action has really not started. All right, we're just about spurring the ground to get ready for the long race, because the best for our industry has yet to come. Absolutely. So we might as well be ready. And let me tell you, I get to travel like you do. You've worked outside like I have. The industry outside India has a lot to learn from the service levels and the emotional service levels from that we deliver. Ours is a lot of family orientation. Ours is a lot of touch and feel and hug model, right? So it's not bone dry without sentiments. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ranjan. Permit me to hand over the baton to you for you to take the show. We have to all follow our times. We have to log in our halfway stage at 6:01. Back to you, Ranjan. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And let's start with Supreet first. Supreet, thanks for joining us. Supreet, in the upscale hospitality today, where do you think the investment should be visible to guests, and where should this discipline remain invisible, in your opinion?
So quickly, I'll just take 1 second here to kind of, I think everyone knows it, but I'm just trying to highlight this. Hospitality today is evolving faster than ever before, and guest expectations are rising. Teams are under pressure, and yet the essence of our industry remains unchanged, which is creating genuine experiences for guests who are coming into a hotel. I think that is constant for us. Otherwise, other than that, everything else keeps on changing, but the teams are always able to deliver that. Now, coming on to your question, when I talk about it, when I look at it, there are things which have to be shown to guests, and aspects, and there are aspects which have to be invisible, right? Now, the look and feel of the product, the moment you walk into the hotel, how the hotel smells, the atmosphere, how the lobby is looking, all that is something which, is very important from a product point of view, and which the guest should be, relating to when they're walking into a hotel. They should be looking into and feeling, that they walked into a good, well-managed hotel, the employees, when they smile, the kind of experience that they're giving. In today's date, food and beverage plays a very important role. It's not only just an ancillary product or a service that you're providing. Food and beverage is a part of the entire ecosystem of the hotel, where storytelling plays a very important role. Rituals are done for our guests, which are of very important, play a very important role in today's guest experience. So these are things which are, very, very important when it comes to the service levels or the factors that the guests should be seeing when they walk into the hotel. Not talking about stuff let's talk about things which the guests shouldn't be knowing about. But then, there are a lot of things that happen in the background, right? There is cost efficiencies, housekeeping, kitchen stewarding, engineering, trying to do a great job filling in efficiencies everywhere. Teams are trying to, ensure that guest services are at the topmost level. However, they are trying to do their best to keep the operations in front of the guest very smooth. However, they are doing a very tightened job at the back to kind of keep cost experiences, operation procedures, everything right and precise. So I think that's, again, something which the guest should not be seeing. Again, there is a great difference. I mean, there's a big difference here. Something which the guest should see, there's something which the guest should not see, right? I think that is where we come in. And when it comes to, design, I think design is something that is very important for a hotel, because design brings in the guest. But service is something which is what brings the guest for the second time. So training, looking after guest needs, ensuring that they are having a good time at the hotel is extremely important. In saying so, I think what is important in today's date is just not procedural training or just, going by the book, but then your employee should be able to read the guest. They should be very emotionally intelligent. They should be able to understand what the guest is walking in for. Are they looking for leisure? They're coming in for business, or they're here for some other family affair? Because every guest has his own need. So I think that's something which is very critical in today's date. So coming back to your question, the business is evolving. We are creating experiences for guests, but it's very important for us to have a visible and invisible front in front of the guest, which is, I think, which answers your question, basically.
Yeah. Great. Thanks a lot for that insight, Supreet. Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Moving on to Rajani now. Rajani, in your opinion, how should upscale hotels create emotional value without only depending on design or luxury infrastructure? Rajani, are you there?
Sorry, that was on mute. Very sorry. I'd like to begin with a particular quote of Miss Maya Angelou. She had said a long time ago, people will never forget how you made them feel. I mean, this is something that we all of us talk about. We don't attribute it to Miss Maya. That, to me, is the crux of the emotional value that you create for our guest or any guest, regardless of what kind of hotel you're running. You will always remember how you felt when you walked through the doors. So for me, modern luxury or luxury is about the ability to think clearly, sleep deeply, move a little more slowly than your workplace, and live quietly in a world which is wanting to prevent all of them. So that conscious four pillar pull and push is where we come in to create a fabulous emotional value for our guests. Now, what do I mean by this? A, there are three tenets. One, you personalize your service. There is, if a guest is coming back and you know that he has a laptop and he has a lot of iPads around him, give him that little extra bit, maybe, a cleaner for a screen. Customization, understanding what the guest wants, that little bit which moves your hotel from a good to great. That comes from team training, team listening, and team empowerment. It's a beautiful segue into understanding what the team can do, how much they can do, and they don't have to come back to their next level superior or the team leader or the manager. So training them to understand the touch points which will make the hotel move from good to great is the fabulous and the easiest way to create emotional value without relying on luxury infrastructure. To me, cultural warmth will always take precedence because that brings you back to the destination. When you are a DoubleTree in, say, Hilton in Agra, the Taj will take precedence. Whether you like it or not, that's the story, that's the blueprint, and you build on top of that. So do not forget the cultural ethos that has brought the guest to the destination, whether and what kind of need has brought him there. If it is business, don't crowd it too much. Keep it simple. But if it is cultural, then let's move to create a fabulous experience. Material matters, the GSM matters. However, we do not rely on just the GSM to bring you back once again. So for me, I will close my little conversation by saying personalize your service, empower your team, and make sure that the cultural warmth stays with the guest and makes them remember how you made them feel.
Wonderful. Thanks, Rajni. That was yeah, well summarized. Now moving on to Shuvendu. Shuvendu running a busy hotel in Aerocity. Business travelers expect efficiency and comfort and pampering at the same time. So how do you think the definition of premium has evolved for the customer today, for the guest of today?
Thank you, Ranjan, for this very exciting question. I think you've been in this hotel as the first GM for this hotel. So you know the Aerocity, how Aerocity has evolved. I think the question itself, as a business traveler, the people who come to my hotel, especially at Holiday in Aerocity, they are all usually one-night travelers. So they don't have that much of time. And today, I believe time is the ultimate luxury because everybody wants immediate response from the moment they step into the hotel, whether they came at the main porch, the moment they come to the main porch, they want quick response. So I think today it is not only about the premium product, it is also about the response and the personalized experience which a guest gets into the hotel. So from the time of check-in, the guest wants a fast check-in. I think it is very, very important that the responsive service. I think it is important that a guest who comes to the hotel, he's acknowledged immediately. A hotel like us at Holiday in Aerocity, every day there are multiple check-ins. Within hours, the check-ins happen. So it has to be very, very quick turnaround. Looking at the reliable connectivity, when a guest has to wait, for example, what is that personal experience that the hotel or the team does, that is equally important. So most importantly, I think looking at this question, I believe it is very, very important that we make sure that the guest check-in is smooth, the experience, the overall stay experience, and the stay is effortless. I think it is very important that as a guest, when you're staying in a hotel for 16 or 18 hours, you need to have a quick response. So these are a couple of things which we are doing in our hotel. Another important aspect is the predictability. I think business travelers are traveling not only in this place, every other. Sorry. The business travelers are traveling from one city to the other city to different countries. So they are well versed with what's happening in all the places. So it is equally important that this hotel has given a seamless experience to all the guests, those who are coming in. A comfortable room, that is very important. Know what they expect. As Supreet was saying, F&B plays a very important role in in the hotel, whether it is an in-house guest or a walk-in guest. These are a couple of things which we are doing at the hotel to make sure that the guest experience is the most important aspect. And that's what I would like to summarize in this question.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for sharing your viewpoint, Shuvendu. Moving on to Sachin. Sachin, you are the master of operating lean with your ibis hotels. So, how the question to you is that how do you operate lean without appearing limited? Um, is something that's really critical to upscale hotels. We all spoke about efficiency. Supreet mentioned earlier about the design playing an important role in ensuring efficiency. So, how do team members working in upscale hotels deliver abundant and pampering service while being efficient at the same time?
Thank you for the very, very appropriate question for me. And I think, I can, just give you an answer in a little more crisp format, also keeping cognizance of time, because I think we have to cut off at some point. So the first thing, and wherever the biggest cost center is people, right? And what we do to ensure that we use that capital very well, the capital of human resources, is by making multi-skilled teams. So what we have done here at ibis, and it's a brilliant structure where my restaurant associate can actually do a check-in, check-out. So it's an amazing concept, and I think that's what you need, those unsiloed approach where you have staff fluidity where they can perform multiple tasks for the guest, and it also helps in ensuring that the guest is taken through seamlessly. That's one. Going on to spaces, especially city like Bombay or any other city as well, real estate is expensive. How do you make sure that your hotel doesn't have dead spaces, or the spaces are utilized in a multifold manner? So the design plays a very big part. And so what we've done is that our coffee shops are designed in a way where they transform into sort of a co-working space during the afternoons or dead periods when usually hotels are sitting empty. So that sort of thing that we have done. In fact, we have examples from our international counterparts. There's a Cockley in Pullman, Dubai. They've, after breakfast, they give away the restaurant for a third party operator to run it. So I think it's an amazing idea for people to use the same space and see how you can churn more money out of it. The third important point is to use digital to reduce friction. Friction comes by, in today's day and age, like everybody said, business travelers don't have time. They want to be quick in, quick out, do their thing, and the business is on. So what we realized is that 73% of the travelers these days actually don't want too much of interaction, or rather they want to go high on digital. So what we've done is, as a company, we've created a factory called the Accor Digital Factory, where they're creating applications which are helping them up and go more seamlessly onto it. We've got the key card, which is now not required from your phone. You can unlock the door. We've got a chat GPT aided model, which is built in. So you can actually book your room from chat GPT now. So we've already done that implant, and we are the first ones to go with the whole AI piece here. The next one is creating meaningful collaborations. We recognize and we understand that you cannot master everything. So let's make meaningful collaborations between chef, product, designer, concept, any idea that we can do. At Novotel Kolkata, we've got our coffee shop in the lobby, which has a lot of collaboration, from a tea box to a blue tokai, from a chef Vicky Ratani designed burgers to having a ice cream which is done from Fat Little Penguin. So it's like a collaborative. You're not doing everything, you're not the master of everything, but you still create a space which is more viable for client to come in. Again, real estate is everything, and you use those collaborations to work on this. Then branding. Branding is one part. Let's not clutter the space with too many things. People don't have time to read so much. Attention span is limited to 10 seconds of an Insta reel. So let's not clutter it. So like ibis is standing for ibis music, and that's our branding point, which sits across all ibis hotels through and through, and you will see relevant branding across the space. So I think that's important. Similar to guest touch points, I think let's keep only the touch points that are making sense. Otherwise those rituals are empty and people just pass by them without really paying attention to them, whether it is breakfast or whether it's the evening ritual at a hotel. The sixth point that I want to talk about is process design. Everything we can talk about making it lean or making it quicker, but you will not be able to succeed unless you design it that way. At ibis hotels, we have self check-in. We have also got a self take-on luggage. we encourage that people take their luggage to the room, and we've got trolleys for that. Now that's a service design or a process design that has been done that way. And I think when we look at reducing our manning, we need to look at our whole design principle to reduce that, human intervention or people intervention to reduce that piece. And the last one I want to talk about is productivity culture. I think for guest facing areas and for staff facing areas. For guest facing, we've got a mission statement, mission 15, which means that every service will be delivered in 15 minutes, which actually drives us to make sure that we are getting there in time. And for a staff perspective, we've got their KPIs set up for a housekeeping guy that you've got to clear 28 rooms in your day and things like that. So those KPIs help us ensure that we are on track to achieve our goals in terms of productivity. So I think that's what my take on the question. So thank you so much for asking.
Thanks a lot, Sachin. Moving over to Saurabh. Saurabh, tell us a little about how do you think we can prevent rate dilution while still remaining accessible in competitive upscale markets?
Thank you so much for very relevant questions, especially coming from a price-sensitive market like Ahmedabad. I would say in upscale segment, rate dilution is always a real risk, especially a market like Ahmedabad, where we have to manage by leading with values, not with discounts. Let me just begin with value communication. Guests today compare experiences more than just the room rates, and we make sure that the value we deliver is extremely clear. We consistently communicate the pillars of our value proposition, such as well-designed upscale rooms, a modern fitness center, a full-service spa, our award-winning restaurants like Timpri and the Great Kebab Factory, what we have, and the location advantage and the service consistency through which we communicate this to the guest. Guests understands the value they receive both through the hotel's tangible assets and its consistent upscale service, which is why we also have a lot of repeat guests and long stays staying with us. Our central location near the key commercial, cultural, and sports landmarks such as IIM Ahmedabad, Gujarat University, the Sabarmati Riverfront, and the Narendra Modi Stadium naturally strengthen our value proposition and reinforces willingness to pay a fair premium for convenience and connectivity. When guests clearly understands what they're receiving, they are more than willing to pay a fair premium. That's what I understand. Secondly, I would like to talk about the revenue discipline. We stay disciplined on revenue and avoid reactive discounting by relying on our forecasting tools, fenced offers that we have, and a clear bar strategy. With a strong MICE and corporate demand, we attract, thanks to our meeting rooms with 250 guests and advanced AV facilities that we have. We don't need to dilute our rates to drive volume. The demand comes because we provide relevance. And the third I would like to talk about is market segmentation. Accessibility comes from segmentation and not by lowering the price. We tailor our offerings for corporate SMEs, MICE groups, academic institutes, and blended leisure business travelers. So to cut it short, I mean, it's simple for us. Rate protection comes from the clarity of values, discipline in pricing, and smart segmentation. That's how we stay premium yet accessible.
Great. Thanks so much. Very relevant feedback, Saurabh.
Thank you.
Moving on, Gaurav. Now, you're also in the same market as Saurabh, so in a very competitive market, as you already alluded, price sensitive, etc. How do you think upscale hotels like yours protect premium positioning while still remaining commercially accessible for, as Saurabh already shared, what is a very price sensitive market?
Thank you, Mr. Malakar. So this is, as we know, that Ahmedabad is a very, very price sensitive market. But at the same time, we expect every guest expects a premium experience, even if they are choosing an upscale hotel. So one thing which we have seen, we all have seen over the years is that guests today is very well traveled. Many of them stayed all across different cities, different countries. So because of this exposure, something basic like a clean room, comfortable bed, good food, attention to detail has become a basic. So that is a basic amenity. So we can't rely on it. We have to move ahead. So now we have to think something which is beyond the basic. So I'm going to put a little bit emphasis on beyond the basic. How do we make experience beyond the basic? In Ahmedabad, what we have seen is that guests are actually quite willing to pay a premium price, provided they clearly feel the value for their experience. So, one way to create the value is personalization. So, for example, a data driven personalization, so we see and we know that there are a lot of hotels which are already using data driven personalization, wherein, before a guest checks in, the system feeds us what kind of preferences they have, whether they like a certain kind of pillow, what is their dietary requirement. So that is being already fed to us. So that is to our advantage to use. And this generally doesn't need any big investment. So now coming to food and beverage, again, food and beverage is a core part which contributes to it, creating personalized experiences. So something like a small tasting experience of a regional dish. Why I'm emphasizing on regional dish is because that creates guest connect with the destination, and they will always remember this. Also, when it comes to F&B, a lot of activations can be done. So chef-led personalized dining experiences, data driven menu recommendations which are like auto pop-up, then guest co-created dishes, and these dishes can finally find a place in the menu with the guest name. So something like that which really, has a recall value. So I completely agree that, food and beverage plays a key role, and I will say it's a low effort, high impact. So now when we are talking about upscale hotels, our hotel is also a business hotel, and as other as everyone, these are also well traveled guests. So their expectation has also gone beyond the basic. Now earlier, few years back, a strong Wi-Fi, uh, express check-in would used to suffice their needs, but now it has gone beyond. Now something as flexible as maybe they are looking for an early check-in, they'll want a quick working lunch options, comfortable workspaces. So that has come to play. I think also we need to understand about the price discipline, which I think Saurabh covered wonderfully. So we should make sure that we do not dilute our brand positioning. That's very important. So we should not go aggressively on reducing our prices. So if I have to summarize, in a market like Ahmedabad, guests are certainly price sensitive, but they are also well traveled. So today the basics are no longer differentiators. What really creates value is deliver beyond the basic. So personalization, data driven preferences, thoughtful gestures, all that make a lot of difference. So at the same time, upscale hotels must maintain the pricing and clearly communicate the value to the guest rather than just going down on the prices. So one last thing which I completely uh, agree to is that premium is not in chandeliers or carpet, it is in the people and the way they make guests feel. Thank you.
True. Couldn't agree more. All right, so that brings us, Ranjan, to midway point. We're off by about 8 minutes. We'll try and cover up in the next part, but I'll take a short 20-second break and come back.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
All right, lovely. All screens on. So we have time good enough for how many all questions, but yeah, we'll have to limit ourselves in under 2 minutes per response. All right, we've taken a little more time, but that's fair enough. So we shall try and close within 20 minutes. We've had a fantastic first half. I'm sure the second half will be even better. And this is so valuable. Ranjan, with your permission, your second question.
Yes.
All right. Ranjan, you've been lording over a huge part of the country. Tell me from your lens, looking ahead, we were just talking about classification. Will upscale hotels become India's dominant hospitality model over the next decade? All right, let's not worry about who's luxury, who's upper upscale, who's upscale, very frankly. We all have to behave luxury, even if it is a budget and economy. But your response to this will be very valuable.
Sure. I think the future belongs to upscale and mid-scale both. And why I say upscale, because mid-scale is obviously, if you go by the pyramid, is kind of the no-brainer answer. It should be wider at the bottom. But I think India is a little unique as a market. A big amount of our growth is going to come from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And what brands are realizing, what owners are realizing, is that guests want the hotels to be aspirational as well. So when you're opening these hotels in tier 3 cities like tier 2, tier 3 cities like Gwalior, Jabalpur, etc., the guests are not expecting just functional, efficient hotels. They want grandeur as well. They don't want to have to travel outside of their city to experience what they perceive as luxury or premium hospitality. So this is why the developers, the owners, as well as the brands feel that upscale is a good fit for this, because upscale allows you to kind of keep the costs and the efficiency parameters in mind, while also giving guests that sense of arrival, that aroma, that spacious lobby, the grandeur, the marble, and the kind of trimmings that they would like to expect in hotels that are in their hometowns. So definitely, I think upscale is going to be one of the big demand drivers for hospitality in India in the future.
I completely agree with you. Look at the world over. I call this, in my jargon, belly of the business. Right? This is where the action is, the maximum fat is. The fat's not here. It's not on the arms. It's here in the belly of the business. This is where the action is. This is affordable, but do not compromise on the luxury, like we've all just made a point. Thank you, Ranjan. This is your show. I'm going mute. I'm going chup. It's for you to close.
Great. So coming back to Supreet, and as Bhuvanesh mentioned, let's try to stick to a timeline of about 2 minutes. How do you maintain brand aspiration even during high occupancy and operational pressure, while you have efficiency in your product?
Absolutely. So earlier this part of the year we did a strategy meet, and this year our strategy was Formula One. Okay, we got inspiration from a Formula One team, that how efficient a Formula One team is. How a pit crew, they're working behind in the garage, and how the car driven by a driver is actually able to achieve all the goals. So we have kind of aligned our team, and I'm just sharing with all of you here and everyone, for a learning or whatever. It's something that's working for us very well. The guest is our driver, in the car. The guest is the one who's going to get us all the revenues, all the reputation, all the recognition in the market, right? And we are all standing behind him, providing him with all the services, all the efficiencies, ensuring that we are able to look after all his needs, all his expectations from a particular experience at the hotel, and ensure that he goes happy. Once he does, he drives the car, he drives the hotel to the podium. And that is what we want, right? So the Formula One strategy works very well for both hotels and for the F1 team as such, because they are highly efficient. Both need to be highly efficient. There's hardly any margin of error, and anything that goes wrong here and there would cost you either reputation or a lot of revenue. So you need to be very careful on this. So that's what I would say is our mantra at Sheraton Grand Pune. That's what we are following this year, to ensure that we are meeting, greeting, looking after all guest needs. Yes, of course, there is definitely a need for us to be, as leadership, to be available on the floor, meeting guests, talking, walking with guests, ensuring teams are performing well. But I think this strategy is working well for us. And that's how I would like to conclude on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Supreet. Great analogy. Love that. Rajani, so what, in your opinion, is the mindset shift that general managers and their teams require to run premium hotels profitably today? Rajani? Okay, maybe we'll move on to Shuvendu.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So what I wanted to say was none of us really are as smart as all of us in the room, sir. So my first thing in a leadership mindset would be commercial ability. That's the first parameter. The second one would be owner alignment. And the third one would be to get everybody in the room knowledgeable, which means trained on these two pillars, which means every leader of mine understands the importance of commercial business, whether it be top line revenue or cost management. So, both aspects, and every one of us are responsible for a certain pocket of this particular framework. You're either making money or you're saving money. The ownership alignment, what is the owner's expectations, and are you able to slightly over deliver above that consistently? Again, the third one is about teamwork. If all of us get behind the thought in our own pillars of excellence, we will all get there. If you reach for the sun, you definitely won't get sand in your hand.
Lovely. Thank you, Rajani. Moving over to closer to Delhi, Shuvendu, how important in Upscale's success today from your perspective?
It's a great question, Ranjan. I think there's a movie quote which says location, location, and location. So I think exactly where we are at the moment, I'm sure the other panelists, they also have worked in different locations. What matters the most is the location and which you drive the business, drive the experience of the guest. Location is extremely important. I think it's not just about building a strong product, scale, or a luxury. So I think luxury definitely and upscale definitely remains there. We are next to connectivity. The connectivity is equally important when you are at the location. It's not just about the location, it's also about your connectivity. I think it is equally important that the location intelligence, the product strength, the entire ecosystem, at the same time, the guest experience, what we discussed in our previous questions, matters a lot, and this will continue to be there. And the success of the hotel definitely depends on how we run the hotel. At the same time, the location, the product, the service, and the culture which we develop in our hotels. So that's what I would like to summarize.
Well said. And what a location Aerocity has turned out to be, indeed. Sachin, now, with Gen Z travelers slowly sort of making up a larger part of our travelers, whether at leisure locations or business locations, how do you think younger travelers redefine premium expectations for upscale brands compared to maybe the more legacy travelers who 40 and above, the more traditional business travelers? So what do you think the younger people expect differently from premium hotels or upscale brands?
Sachin? Sachin, one more.
Am I audible now? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
So I would just like to tweak the question in a bit by saying that, for younger travelers, the word upscale doesn't exist. I think they seek experiences. I think that's what the bottom line is. And I think they're sort of brand or a category agnostic in certain ways. 66%, and it says a McKinsey 2024 report, which says that 66% of them are traveling more than what they were traveling before. 52% of them splurge on experiences. They're not spending on clothes like we did as of some time ago, but they are. Younger travelers will cut their spends on flight shopping and other things, but they will spend on traveling. 92% of the younger travelers, will be influenced by the social media, reels, scroll, something they've seen or their friend would have told them. And 52% of the Gen Zs are taking more than 6 to 7 trips, and definitely most of them are taking more than 5 trips a year. Earlier, we were, I think, at a 2 or 3 trip per year sort of a calibration in terms of travel. So that's where the strength of future is. And like Bhuvanesh ji had mentioned earlier some time ago that where is the belly? I think they are traveling far more, so they will need more places to stay, and that's where the space of hospitality will grow. Now, with the travel agent space also shrinking because they are doing self-planned trips. So AI is also helping them plan their trips through. So that's where the future of the new traveler is thinking. Now, how do we refine this? Let's put some light on how do we refine this part. So my colleague earlier had mentioned that basic is non-negotiable, right? You got a good room, you got good food, you got a good air conditioning, water going. Now, while the basic is non-negotiable, I think we have a biggest challenge in delivering the basic. Also, considering the fact that we have got a huge manpower crunch that we're seeing, and I always reiterate this in all forums, and that's where we actually need to put our focus in to get great manpower and train the manpower for our hospitality. Now, having said that we've delivered the basic and we've got the basic going, I think what we need to work on experiences, like I said, experiences on food, experiences in spa, experiences on rituals, experiences through any format that you can create, which creates a vibe for your hotel and what works for you. I think my other colleague mentioned about, the place is bigger than the hotel itself in certain places like Agra. And I think if you can use that location and the cultural influence of the place to build into your hotel and let a guest or a consumer coming in, soak into the whole cultural aspect of the location. I think that's great. So I think in my previous hotel, and when we were doing the redesign of the lobby, what we managed to do was the whole lobby we've redesigned as a bar, and we've created it like a drawing room setup. So I think that's where the whole experience is changing. People don't want that cookie cutter spaces now. People want a more experiential space. How we want to come. So at Novotel Goa Kandhalim, that's what we've done. So this is how I would like to close that. The new generation guy doesn't care about what category that you sit in, but they will care about the experience that you deliver.
Great stuff, Sachin.
Very well said.
Saurabh, an operational myth that you feel that exists about upscale hotels and it's completely incorrect and needs to disappear.
Unmute.
Saurabh, you there?
Saurabh, unmute. Okay, I've unmuted
Sorry,
you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
Yeah.
All right. So Malakar, I feel one big myth in our industry is that the upscale hotel needs to operate like luxury hotels to feel premium. And honestly, that needs to disappear. Well, apart from that, there are a few things like you need luxury level staffings in upscale. At Radisson Blue Hotel Ahmedabad, we deliver high guest satisfaction with smart deployment of cross-trained associates and technology-driven responsiveness. With like 120 rooms and 2 restaurants and fully equipped meeting spaces, we run lean but effective. Guest value, efficiency, and warmth, not the size of the team behind it. Number two, I would like to say that premium means imitating luxury, and that also something which needs to go. Many upscale hotels fall into this trap of imitating luxury, yet what the guests truly today appreciate is the efficiency, contemporary design, dependable Wi-Fi, access to wellness facilities, and thoughtfully curated dining experience, as Gaurav also mentioned earlier, rather than over-the-top theatrics. Lastly, I would like to say that premium perception comes from high spending. That is also a mindset that needs to go, I believe. Well, high-end doesn't have to mean mean high cost. Efficiency is the new luxury. Thoughtful design, sustainable operations, and technology-driven processes reduce cost while elevating the guest experience as well. Also, we have a proven sustainability initiatives like the in-house water bottling plant, the EV charging stations, along with the practical amenities like the bulk dispensers recycled material, dry amenities in the room, they really deliver real value without driving up the cost. So I'll sum it up like for premium hotels, I think it is very clear. The shift is from more is luxury to smart is luxury. That's my submission to it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Last question for the evening, Gaurav, to you. As our guest expectations evolve, and we all agreed right at the beginning that things are continuously changing, the industry is changing, our guests are changing, and what they want of us is changing. So, how can upscale hotels innovate without adding unnecessary operational complexity?
So I think it's very important that, innovation in hospitality is absolute essential. The hotels which do not innovate, actually sooner they become irrelevant. So I think it's very critical. I am a strong believer that creativity can never stop in hospitality. So, having said that, innovation does not mean adding complexity or over design. The real focus should be smart innovation. So, innovation that makes guest journey smoother while keeping operations very simple. So, one of the biggest innovations we are seeing today is, I'm just giving one example. So, there are loads of innovations which are happening, is a technology that is reshaping the guest journey. So mobile phone, just an example of a mobile phone that's increasingly becoming a center of hotel experience. So nowadays, there are many hotel applications where wherein you actually check in before even arriving to the hotel. You are sent a digital key, so you don't need to stand in the front office at the front desk in the queue. You straight away proceed towards the room. Now, what it does to us is it handles the transactional conversations. So what, if we remember a few years back, our conversations with guests used to be, where is the menu, till what time is the pool open, what are the timings of gym, how do I redeem my points. So all those conversations are handled by these applications. What it does is the hotel gets an opportunity, hotel means the team here, to have more personalized conversations, more meaningful conversations, like, understanding their preferences, recommending them experiences, creating a strong personal connection. So you get more time, more energy to do this rather than wasting time on those transactional conservation. So I think that is a great innovation in technology that has happened. Of course, along with that, you have to provide experience driven differentiations. Like, very recently at Hyatt Ahmedabad, we did a aqua sound healing, which is first time in Ahmedabad. So it was such a hit. We did aqua healing at the pool for our resident guest. It was such a hit that in last 4 months on demand we have done it twice. So beside this, the food and beverage has to keep innovating. A lot of activations have to happen. You collaborate with standalone restaurants. You get some, unfortunately, Gujarat is a dry state. Otherwise, bar takeovers. You collaborate with your sister brand properties, sister hotels, invite chef tables. All that happen. And all this doesn't need any money. It's just the thought. You have to come up with ideas. All this, whatever we have mentioned, it doesn't need a major high investment. So to summarize, innovation today is crucial in hospitality, but it should be smart innovation, not over design. So technology today is simplifying the guest journey and freeing teams to personalize service. So the real goal is innovation that enhances the guest experience while keeping operations simple. So I would like to end this by this. Thank you.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So we've almost timed it right. Not bad at all. So target one met. Now let's go through the second part of the show, Ranjan, before we start to the closing ceremony. Why don't we do the honors for the rapid sign-off?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen and Rajani, I'm going to give you a sentence and you need to complete that sentence. So I need a short and crisp response to how you would complete this sentence. And the sentence is, upscale hospitality succeeds without overreach when? So Supreet, let's start with you.
With intelligence, not indulgence.
Wonderful. Rajani?
When brand standards are on point.
Fantastic. Shuvendu?
I would say efficiency enhances the guest journey rather than limiting it.
Excellent. Sachin?
I would say creating unforgettable moments with discipline and consistency.
Nice. Saurabh?
Saurabh, you're muted.
Okay, I would say pricing reflects confidence, not compromise.
Great. And last but not least, Gaurav?
So innovation strengthens the guest experience without complicating experiences and operations.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, thank you. And Rajni, thank you so much for those wonderful insights. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would have really gathered a lot of nuggets of information, and this would have clarified things. This is, I think, these questions that have been asked and the topic itself that's been chosen is very, very relevant with brand creep and the tendency to sort of just keep moving up the chain without any regards for what the brand was originally meant for. So very, very relevant, and thank you for sharing your views. So it's quite clear that we all agree that premium or upscale hotels is not just a replica of luxury. There's a lot more to it than that. I think Supreet highlighted the importance of value creation while making sure you're still efficient, and the importance of design. Rajni mentioned how important it is for the teams to be emotionally engaged, to be empowered, alignment with the owners. Shuvendu talked about how the business traveler is evolving, how speed is the luxury that the premium hotel guests or the upscale hotel guests actually want, and also the importance of location. Sachin rightfully mentioned about lean structures, productivity, technology, and avoiding the mistake of thinking that premium needs to mean over the top luxury. Saurabh talked about revenue discipline, working in a price sensitive market, the need to protect your brand in a very competitive market while staying accessible. And Gaurav talked about innovation being something that the industry cannot get away from. It needs to be in every aspect of hospitality, whether it's during the stay, the processes, the food and beverage, or keeping the operations simple and driving the top line. So I think it's quite clear that amongst all of us, we agree that upscale hospitality is not a diluted version of luxury. It is the way to go. We're going to see this commanding a bigger share of the hospitality industry in India, and delivering premium luxury, delivering premium hospitality without luxury is not about reducing ambition. It's about being smart. It's about challenging the way things have been done. It's about design, it's about innovation, and it's about technology.
Wonderfully summed up, Ranjan. Then, there can be no better collective production of the sentiment for this industry. I'm so happy we did this. We did this show with all of you and with Ranjan leading it. Like I keep saying, Sachin also repeated that this is the belly of the business. This is where the action is, right? It's extremely important. If you look at the consolidation that's happening across brands, Hilton has done it, Marriott has done it, Taj has done it, Accor is doing it. So this is where they've all sensed, they smell the rat in the hole. That listen, this is it. And people are going there. And somebody also said that youngsters are not saving up. You did the economics, Sachin. But yeah, ask me, my children, they're not saving. They're traveling, and they're traveling for experiences. And listen, they are brand agnostic. They are location agnostic, right? Ask Japan. Today, the biggest group of travelers to Japan are Indians. Gone are the days when we would go to a Thailand or the Middle East. People are thronging Sri Lanka, right? People are going to Vietnam, they're going to Laos. So we are experimenting. Ask Croatia. Ask all the Central Asian republics, Almaty and Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. The action is there. So listen, don't go by straight lines. When it's a straight line and you're doing linear thinking, that means you are dead, right? So think out of the box. It's a great industry and it's a great opportunity. Thank you, Ranjan, and thank you all for a deeply insightful discussion. What clearly emerges is that premium hospitality today is not about spending more, but about thinking sharper, operating smarter, and delivering value and with intent. I request all viewers to continue sharing this episode link across your teams, groups, networks, so that these conversations reach a wider hospitality leadership audience. Do stay with us, and we look forward to seeing you at the next episode next week at 4 p.m. on Thursday. 2 shows, 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. And likewise, next Friday, March 19 and March 20th, I'll be logging in remotely. Before I go away, a huge thank you again to all the speakers, all the stars on the show, to Diversey, and also to Team BW and BW Hotelier. It's not easy to bring out one show after the other. These general managers are precious. Their time is precious. They are 24/7 resources. Stepping out for this long is not possible, right? They've given their time. So thank you, Team BW, for all the production, the social media team, everybody. And last but not the least, again, I can't keep thanking Diversey. Let's do this video.
At Diversey, we believe it is our mission to protect and care for people and their environment every day. Pioneering future-focused cleaning and hygiene solutions. Trust the experts to select the best hygiene technology matching your site's challenges and your sustainability vision. Diversey, your global partner for responsible hygiene solutions.
So, Ranjani and the gentlemen on the show, thank you so much. I get fascinated, you guys leave the show and go away, and I keep thinking, I said, look at these guys, they need to be celebrated. You're running thousands of crores worth of business, right? And you're managing it well, like the skipper of a jumbo jet or the skipper of a sea-going vessel. It's 24/7. You're always on the wheel. Thank you so much. Much gratitude, Rajani. A lot of gratitude to you, Ranjan, Sachin, Supreet, Saurabh, Shuvendu. Last but not the least, like I say, the kid on the block, Gaurav, Chandna. You had a bad throat, but you gave your best. Fantastic responses. I'll take home. Thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend.
So thank you as well, sir. Thank you so
Mr.
much
Khanna.
for having us on the show.
Thank you for doing
Thank
this.
you so
Thank
much.
you for having us.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you, Rajani.
We are
Thank
blessed
you.
to have you with us. We are blessed. We're truly blessed. And may this industry go far, and may we start seeing the levels below you graduate into your shoes, right? This industry knows your success is not going to be the numbers that you clock. Your success is going to be the talent that you bring forth.
Excellent.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mr.
God
Khanna.
bless
Thank
you.
you, Ranjan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Have a
great
good
weekend.
evening. Thank you, everyone.